As we finish the final hour of the program, we will get into the Green Bay Packers and whether or not that play or that play call by Matt LaFleur will go down in infamy as one of the worst calls we've seen in sports. There's a lot of bad ones, but it's a bad one right there.
Yeah, look, Rob, I don't know if did you bring up the analytics yet?
I don't care about the analytics because
I don't either. But I'm just saying this is why he did it. Analytics said they had a 10% chance of winning if they kicked the field goal, and a 9% chance. Rob G, correct me if I'm wrong. 9% chance of winning if they went for the touchdown.
That's not
now.
Big
You
enough.
and I don't care what the percentage.
No,
was.
I'm just saying that doesn't even. If you told me it was seriously, you figured it out.
45%.
Yes, or if you
something.
came up with some number, Chris, that you could maybe just. I don't believe in it at all. But I'm saying
Rob.
9 and 10% is not good enough. Not when the Green Bay Packers, for all their struggles yesterday, had in the red zone 80% of cashing in for a touchdown, Chris, this past year was the best mark since 2000, since in 20 years in the NFL. I'm sorry. You got to go with that play on the fourth down. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But there's no way you could kick a field goal there.
We got sound from LaFleur, who to me, I'm just speculating, looked like he knew he had made a mistake. Here he is.
What went into the decision to kick the field goal there on 4th and 8, and do you regret that in hindsight?
Yeah, anytime it doesn't work out, you always regret it, right? It was just the circumstances of having 3 shots, coming away with no yards, and knowing that you not only need the touchdown, but you'd need the 2-point. So,
all right, there's LaFleur.
So what? So you lose by 5 points?
You got to get a touchdown either way.
It doesn't matter. Right.
That was a horrible. Now, I disagree. I don't think it was as bad as the Seattle call to throw the ball instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch.
I think
because that was more of a sure thing.
Yeah, matter of fact, I would agree with that from the standpoint of this. That if you remember watching that game, and I don't remember who was doing it, the announcers. It might have been NBC, and they said that New England should let them score. Do you know that? Like they were saying the defense should let them score so they could get the ball back. Right. That they shouldn't put up a fight. Just let them walk in the end zone and they throw the ball. That was almost positive. I remember hearing that.
Yeah, I thought that was the worst call I've ever seen. Obviously cost them a Super Bowl. The stakes were even higher too. But this was a horrible call. To me, there is no way you make that call because the bottom line is you got to score a touchdown anyway. It's not like I've made it so I only have to kick a field goal. I still have to score, and I'm putting the ball in the hands of Tom Brady, Rob. I'm not putting it in the hands of Jimmy Garoppolo or some other, Baker Mayfield, Matt Ryan, some other quarterback. I'm putting it in the hands of Tom Brady. But all that said, Rob, I'm going to say this because there are some people saying that call and Matt LaFleur cost Aaron Rodgers the Super Bowl. Hogwash. For as bad as that call was, and it was horrible, Aaron Rodgers has no one to blame but himself. Now, he played a good game, but I don't want to hear this talk of, it was LaFleur's fault. It was, the defense's fault. They came up with 3 turnovers. It was, Aaron Jones' fault for the fumble. Stop it. All right. Aaron Rodgers was a big part of the problem. And here's why. First of all, on 3rd down, Aaron Rodgers should have ran for it like Rod Woodson said. What was he doing? He's a good runner. He's athletic. Why didn't he run into this? At the very least, he would have got to the 1 or 2 yard line. And then they probably would have went for it. So that's on him. And then I totally agree with Rod too. And I haven't heard a lot of people say this. That's why I asked him. Aaron Rodgers should have raised Cain on that sideline. And I don't think he would have had to, but he should have gone over to LaFleur and been like, hold up. And if it needed a long conversation, call a timeout. Because you had three. You would have had 2 left plus the 2-minute warning. Talk that you are Aaron freaking Rodgers. You're the MVP. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're an all-time great. You got a chance to go to the Super Bowl, which is what everybody's been hanging over your head for the last 10 years, and you're going to leave it in his hands? You should have went and said something. You should have fought to be able to run that play. And then I guess LaFleur didn't trust him because he was 4 of 11 in the fourth quarter. He was 2 of 9 in the red zone. All that regular season red zone stuff is fine. He was 2 of 9 in the red zone in this game. So Aaron Rodgers is not blameless. Aaron Rodgers had the number 1 seed, which he's been dying to get. He had a home game at Lambeau Field, which has got to be, if not the greatest home field advantage in sports, certainly one of them. It's freezing out there. They're playing a team from Florida, and his opponent got a 43-year-old quarterback, and you got 2 backup safeties. Taylor Heineke, Rob, we talked about it. Taylor Heineke had made that defense look like Swiss cheese. And Aaron Rodgers did not capitalize. I know Tom Brady was bad in the second half, but you know what? He capitalized. 2 turnovers, 14 points for the Bucs. Rodgers gets 3 turnovers, 6 points. So I'm with it. That call was horrendous. But Aaron Rodgers cannot sit here, and anybody defending him cannot sit here and act like he's blameless. He is not.
He played good. He needed to play great. They didn't have the greatest field position on those turnovers, but it doesn't matter. They needed to get more points. Yeah. So there's no doubt about it. And, the numbers, he almost had, what do you have, 380 yards? I mean, you could look at some of those. He had to come back. They were down 28-10 in the third quarter. So you're playing in a hole. That touchdown at the end of the first half, that was the backbreaker right there.
Right.
There was also a hold on the interception. If you look at the video close, I don't know if you watched it that closely, but there was an obvious hold that didn't get called. But it didn't matter. They needed to not give up a touchdown in that situation. I think if they don't give up a touchdown, there's a way better chance that they would have been able. He needed to be great, and he wasn't great. He was just good. Had a passer rating over 100, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Most of the time, that's going to get the job done. He needed another touchdown or maybe a touchdown and a field goal in those 2 other, those 3 interceptions or whatever or opportunities. And the last one, I still think you got to give that guy a shot. I'd rather lose with that than doing what they did. The idea or the hope that you're going to get another turnover that down in that area is just not good. That's the one thing that the Bucs were able to get against the Saints. If you look at the Drew Brees' turnovers, they were in New Orleans, zone and in their part of the field, which made it easier. And I just didn't think that asking for a turnover or a fumble or whatever in that spot is realistic. You can't give the ball up. You got to go for it. You got enough weapons. Just go for it. And maybe it happens. Maybe they over defend, and then on the 4th down, Aaron sees that he has space and he can run in. And then you go for the 2. I mean, that's really what I thought. They had a great shot. When they moved the ball all the way down the way that they moved it, I thought they had a great shot. And then all of a sudden they didn't run it. They had time to even run a play to try to get a little closer. They didn't do that. 3 straight passes. I thought it was a bad way to go out to not give him a chance at throwing a pass in the end zone to try to win the game. I mean, to try to tie the game.
Yeah, with Rodgers. You said it. You said he needed to be great and he was good. That kind of seems to be the case. I mean, he wasn't good last year. Forget that second half when they were down. It was over. But he's 1-4 now in the NFC Championship games. He's lost 4 straight now. And Rob, we've talked about the defense didn't support him, but he didn't help it. The offense was bad. In his 4 losses in the NFC title game, they scored 22 points against Seattle in 2015. They had led the league that year with 30 points a game. They scored 21 points in 2017 against Atlanta. They had averaged 27 a game, 4th in the league. They scored 20 against San Francisco last year, which obviously was a blowout. And this year they get 26 when they averaged 32 points a game, 1st in the league. He has not delivered either. Now, I guess, even yesterday, he's gotten in these holes. Last 2 years, at least, that's been his pattern. They get in a hole.
No, they were in a hole against Atlanta. If you look at all these games,
right.
when you're playing from behind, it's a little easier.
But that's on him.
No, but it's a little harder.
That's on the defense and on him.
No, but it's. I'm just saying it's harder to play from behind. If you could play from ahead and get
harder.
a lead, it's easier. Playing from behind is not great because you become one-dimensional.
For getting behind to a large degree. Yeah, the defense too. But you saw what Tampa did. They marched down, they scored in their first series. That changes the whole complexion of the game. And then, obviously they had the big lead at halftime. And Rodgers is largely to blame, the defense too, for getting in these holes. Then you rally and play well in the second half. It's gotta be better than that. All right, 877-99 on Fox.
And here's a number for you just so that you could clarify. The Packers defense has given up plus 37 points in 5 of Rodgers' 9 losses. I mean,
it could have been 25 because he ain't
37
scoring.
or more. But I'm just saying that's a big number. I think it's happened to Tom Brady only one time in his postseason career where they've given up 40 or more, I think. And Aaron Rodgers.
What's Rodgers averaging in those games?
A number. Yeah.
How many points for the Packers?
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the defensive
if you ain't going to score but 22.
Yeah, but
they could have scored 27.
Yeah, but it also, I think sometimes when you play from behind, you become one-dimensional. It's easier to stop.
Yeah,
when
but
they know you can't run the ball because you're down by 3 scores.
But they go to prevent. That's what you're always talking about, these other guys that rack up yardage once the game's in hand because the team's in prevent. So, which is it?
And here it is. It's only happened to Brady. It's only happened to Brady 8 times over his entire career, and that's 340 games. So it's happened to Rodgers 5 times, and it's happened to Brady only 8 times in his entire career.
It don't matter. Rodgers don't put up enough points. Ain't like he's averaged 34 points. And you say, wow, they gave up 37.
I'm just giving you a context. You can keep with your narrative. I'm just giving you a context.
Ain't a narrative, it's facts.
It's just a context.
44-21, Atlanta beat them. Does it matter that they gave up 44? They could have gave up 24 and lost.